Starting January 1st, a simple mistake on the highway could cost you up to $1,000. New traffic laws are taking effect across the nation, and if you're not paying attention, you could be in serious trouble. From stricter DUI penalties to game-changing rules about breaking down on the shoulder, these aren't just minor updates. They're laws designed to save lives and hold drivers accountable. California leads the charge with some of the toughest regulations we've seen in years, but similar changes are sweeping the country. Whether you're a daily commuter or a weekend road warrior, what you don't know will hurt you. Stay with me, because in the next few minutes, I'm breaking down everything you needed to know to protect yourself, your wallet, and potentially your life. The wake-up call America's highways desperately need. Picture this. You're driving home after a long day. Traffic slows. You see flashing lights ahead, a tow truck, maybe a disabled vehicle on the shoulder. You stay in your lane, maintain your speed, and keep going. Starting January 1st, that decision could cost you $1,000. And here's the shocking part. You deserve it. This will save lives, says Doug Johnson from AAA of Northern California, and he's not being dramatic. He's stating a fact that most drivers don't know. California ranks second in the nation for deaths outside disabled vehicles. Second, in a country with 50 states, California's highways are the second most dangerous place in America for stranded motorists. Let that sink in. The move-over law just got teeth. The expanded slow-down, move-over law isn't new. It's evolved. For years, drivers have been required to change lanes or significantly reduce speed when passing stationary emergency vehicles with flashing lights. We're talking police cars, fire trucks, ambulances. Most of us know this rule even if we don't always follow it. But here's what's changed and why it matters. The law now applies to every disabled vehicle on the shoulder. Every single one. Where you're broken down and you're up on the shoulder, you might think, oh well, I'm safe. I'm not in the lane of traffic, Johnson explains. But it's actually one of the most dangerous places you can be. Think about your daily commute. How many times have you passed a car with its hazard lights on, hood up? Maybe someone standing nearby on their phone calling for help. How many times did you change lanes? How many times did you even slow down? Now imagine that person is your spouse, your teenager, your parent. The expanded law recognizes a brutal reality. The shoulder isn't safe. It's a death trap masquerading as a safe zone. And drivers flying past at highway speeds, sometimes just feet away, turn disabled vehicles into grave sites. The financial reality, this isn't a slap on the wrist. Let's talk money, because that's what gets people's attention. First offense, up to $1,000. But here's where it gets serious. Repeat offenders face escalating penalties. This isn't a parking ticket you can forget about. This is a moving violation that impacts your insurance, your driving record, and your ability to operate a vehicle. And before you think, they'll never catch me, consider this. The California Highway Patrol has been crystal clear about enforcement. If we see any vehicles that come through the construction zone at an unsafe speed, or they weave through the cone pattern or go through some of these closures, then we're able to make these stops on these vehicles and take appropriate action, a CHP spokesperson stated. Translation, they're watching, they're ready, and they're not going to look the other way anymore. What you must do when you see a disabled vehicle. Here's your action plan, and it's non-negotiable. 1. Move over if possible. If you're in the lane closest to the disabled vehicle and traffic allows, change lanes. Put space between you and that car. That space is literally the difference between life and death. 2. If you can't move over, slow down significantly. We're not talking 5 miles per hour. We're talking enough that if something unexpected happens, a person steps out, a tire rolls into traffic, and a door opens, you can react and stop. 3. Stay alert. Put down the phone, stop fiddling with the radio, eyes on the road, hands on the wheel. This is one of those moments where being a good driver actually matters. And if you're the one broken down, get over as far as you can to the shoulders of the road and stay in your vehicle until a tow truck can come help you, Johnson advises. Don't be a hero. Don't try to fix it yourself. Don't stand outside your vehicle thinking you're safe. Get as far from the lane of traffic as possible. Stay inside and call for professional help. DUI laws. Get serious. Finally, while we're talking about saving lives, let's address the elephant in the room. Drunk driving. For decades, we've treated DUI offenders with kid gloves. Sure, there are penalties, but they've been laughably insufficient, given the devastation drunk drivers cause. That's changing. Starting January 1st, DUI offenders who take someone's life will receive 3 to 5 years of probation instead of the previous 2 years. Is this enough? Probably not. But it's progress. Here's what's even more telling. 51% of Americans now support lowering the legal blood alcohol limit from 0.08 to 0.05. That's not a fringe position. That's a majority of the country saying we need stricter standards. Why? Because the math is undeniable. At 0.08 comma, you're impaired. Your reaction time is slower, your judgment is compromised. You're a danger to yourself and everyone around you. But at 0.05 question mark, you're still impaired, just less so. The question we should be asking isn't, should we lower the limit? It's why haven't we already? E-bikes, the silent danger we're finally addressing. Let me tell you something most people don't realize. E-bikes are involved in a rapidly increasing number of crashes. These aren't your childhood bicycles. These are vehicles capable of 20, 28, even 30 plus miles per hour. They're silent, they're fast, and they're everywhere on roads, bike paths, sidewalks. The new law addresses one critical safety issue, visibility. All e-bikes, whether pedal-assisted or motor-run, must now have a red reflector or flashing light on the back at all times. Not just at night, not just in bad weather. Always. The uptick in crashes associated with not only bicycles but e-bikes now, and also scooters, one safety official noted, and this is in hopes that there will be more visibility. If you ride an e-bike, here's what you need to do today. Check your rear reflector. If you don't have one, install one. They're cheap, available at any bike shop, and legally required. Consider a flashing rear light. Reflectors work, but active lights are better. They catch drivers' attention, especially in daylight. Assume you're invisible, because to most drivers you are. Ride defensively, make eye contact, take the lane when necessary. The license law. Nobody's talking about but should be. Here's a convenient change that's flying under the radar. You can now request a duplicate driver's license to change your address, as long as you immediately destroy the old one. Previously, you could only get a duplicate if you'd lost your license. If you moved and wanted a license with your new address without waiting for renewal, too bad. This might seem minor, but it's actually significant for several reasons. 1. Identity verification. Having a license with your current address matters for banking, voting, employment verification, and countless other situations. 2. Legal compliance. You're required to update your address with the DMV within a certain time frame. Now you can get physical proof of that update. 3. Convenience. No more carrying around a license with an old address and trying to explain to bouncers, bank tellers, or police officers that you've moved. The catch? You must destroy the old license immediately. Not toss it in a drawer, not keep it as a backup. Destroy it, cut it up, make it unusable. Why? Because having multiple valid licenses is a recipe for identity fraud, both by you and anyone who might find your old one. What this all really means. Let's step back and look at the bigger picture. These laws aren't random. They're not bureaucratic box checking. They're responses to real problems that are killing real people. California ranks second for deaths outside disabled vehicles because the drivers aren't being careful enough around stopped cars. So now there's a law with real penalties to force that carefulness. Drunk drivers keep killing people because the consequences haven't been severe enough to deter the behavior. So now probation periods are longer, and the conversation about lowering the BAC limit is gaining momentum. E-bike crashes are skyrocketing because these vehicles are new, fast, and invisible. So now there's a visibility requirement to make them harder to miss. Every single one of these laws exists because people died, and lawmakers decided enough was enough. Your move. Here's what you need to do right now. 1. Review these laws. Don't just skim this article and forget about it. Actually understand what's required of you. 2. Change your behavior. If you've been one of those drivers who doesn't move over for disabled vehicles, that stops today. If you ride an e-bike without proper lighting, fix it today. 3. Spread the word. Share this with friends, family, coworkers. The more people who know about these laws, the more lives we save. 4. Hold yourself accountable. Don't wait for a $1,000 ticket or worse to take this seriously. The bottom line. These new traffic laws represent a simple truth. We can do better. We can be more careful around disabled vehicles. We can take drunk driving more seriously. We can make e-bikes safer. We can make common sense updates to driver's license procedures. None of this is complicated. None of it requires special skills or extraordinary effort. It just requires paying attention and giving a damn about the people around us. Starting January 1st, the law will require it, but honestly, decency should have required it all along. Stay safe out there, drive smart, and remember, every single one of these laws exists because someone, somewhere, didn't make it home. Don't be the reason they add another law next year.